Welcome back to another episode of Infamously Speaking, and you already know what it is. You see the ranker on the screen. Another tier list because we just love smoke. That's literally all it is. But before we jump into the rankings, let's run through some quick channel updates. First, if you're not already subscribed to the Infamously Speaking YouTube channel, go ahead and do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever we drop content. If you're listening on our podcast formats, audio only, make sure you subscribe, follow, leave a rating, a comment on those platforms as well. Helps the show grow, helps it get to more people, which means more spicy commentary, which everybody loves. So, with that being said, we're recording this on Sunday, which is out of the ordinary. So let's do something out of the ordinary real quick before we jump into the sports talk. Quan, how's it going? How's your weekend so far?
The weekend's been great, and I needed it. It's been a stressful work week, to say the least. So I was looking forward to this weekend. I got up with my boy Dave. We went out to Parkville Market where me and Nove did that review, which is a fire place. Like, they have the outside lit with a bunch of lights and the picnic tables and a stage. And it was a Peruvian independence, so they were celebrating that. So the crowd was vibing. The inside was lit. It took like an hour to get the food, though, just because there was so many people. And so I got to enjoy some good Peruvian food. Can't complain about that. And I ran into my boy Drippy. So shout out to Drippy out in Hartford. If you want to cop some clothes, some exclusive clothes that you can't find around here, go check him out. He's right there at the Parkville Market. So shout out to Drippy. Got a bunch of exclusive stuff. So I'm pretty dope, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get this list popping and get this show on the road.
I know you're ready. So let's go ahead and do it. So for those that aren't familiar with tiers or rankings, pretty much what's going to happen is we got all 32 teams listed here. And you see we got 7 different categories ranging from Super Bowl favorites all the way down to number 1 pick contention. This is how we're going to run it. Quan and I, of course, because we are always prepared. We already know where some of these teams go. We're going to keep it exciting. Quan has a couple spicy picks in store for us.
I always got something spicy to get the comments going.
So we're gonna go from number 1 pick contention all the way up to Super Bowl favorites. We're not gonna spend too much time on the number 1 pick contention teams. These are not from left to right. It's just ranking. We can always talk about teams in more detail. So we're gonna go ahead and start it off with the number 1 pick contention team, and it just so happens to be that this team is right here first in the list. That's the New Orleans Saints. I think that's an obvious one for everybody, right? Tyler Shaw, surprising pick in the draft. Derek Carr retiring due to injury. Not really one thing that you can point to this team and say, yeah, they're elite at this thing. Has some interesting pieces. Obviously, Cam Jordan's still there. He's an aging player, but still effective. Olave and Shaheed, if they can stay healthy on the outside, it's just, what does their quarterback do? What does that look like?
Got the rattlesnake over there, and I'm not talking Stone Cold, brother.
Here we go.
No, I'm just playing. I think that it would be in their best interest for them to lose out. They might be able to get
Arch,
a good quarterback. Yeah,
imagine that.
His grandfather
sure did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So it makes sense. I think that's a great idea for the Saints. Help rebuild what they got going over there.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling with another team that I feel was probably going to be a number 1 pick contention. And it pains me to say it, but that's my New York Giants. So, this just is strictly has to do number 1 off their division. I don't think they're going to do very well. Obviously, Philly Super Bowl champions. Washington was in the NFC Championship game, and then Dallas with that coming back. Not saying that they're going to be great, but they're definitely better than the Giants, who named Russell Wilson the starter. I think it's just a tough draw for them this season. I know they have one of the hardest schedules in the league as well, so that's not going to bode too well for them. But excited.
They have literally the hardest schedule in the league.
Excited to watch another year of Malik Neighbors. Excited to watch what that defensive front can do with Abdul Carter. Again, schedule-wise, and I don't think we're going to see a massive uptick in Russ's play. So
I agree. I do want to see Russ throw the deep pass to Neighbors because, in my opinion, Russ has one of the prettiest long balls pause to, to throw.
there was no way good for you to say that. If I was
Yo,
you, I would just would have said it and been done with it. But I can see that you was like, I don't want to say this right now. You trying to process mid sentence how to say it.
the pass rush is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the footage from the camp?
Yeah. As far as what quarterback play hasn't been great, but is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about defensively?
No. I was talking about like they showed Carter in the pass rush, and it looks insane. And
Yeah.
then there's a couple passes to Neighbors that was pretty good.
You know, so
Uh,
now that we're talking, I'm almost convincing myself to move him out of there and move him here. But to move him into young but intriguing, because really they're young everywhere except for their quarterback. They're starting QB.
yeah, I agree. And I like Jackson Dart. I know we talked about it before. Obviously he's a rookie. I think we talked about that as well. Where like because rookies have been coming into the league and performing at a high level, it's almost like the expectation. But realistically, you got to give them some time to grow.
Yeah. You know what? You just talked me into put him in at that spot just because great pass rush and you have a veteran in the rest as long as he doesn't really like go
Yeah,
into happy turnover mode, you have a chance to win some games where you're probably not going to be as bad as New Orleans or another team other teams will get to.
yeah, but just based off their schedule, I would probably still say that there's a chance they can be in the contention for the number one pick.
All right.
Just based off the schedule. But I do like them as a young,
Schedule's
intriguing
tough.
team.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what describes them. But
Right. They're right in the middle.
yeah,
Better than
yeah.
New Orleans, but they might not be as good as some other teams that land on this. So next team for sure, number one pick contention. The Cleveland Browns. What the hell are they doing at quarterback? Deshaun Watson, no
Yo,
clue. Shadur, Dylan
they asked. Did you
Gabriel.
see the clip? They asked Shador like, "How's it feel throwing to like uh the staff?" Because he wasn't. I guess he was throwing passes to like the staff, like the equipment staff and shit.
Nah, I didn't see that. That's not
Yeah.
great.
No,
Their
but I liked
quarterback
his response.
situation is their quarterback situation is dire, and then in that division, that's tough. So yeah, number one pick contention. Not much to say about the Browns. Following them up in number one pick contention is I think the Indianapolis Colts. Again, quarterback is the thing here. Is Anthony Richardson like is he ever going to take a step forward? Daniel Jones is winning that starter job. Yeah, I just
Any team with Daniel Jones at the helm, I
we've
have
seen
no
this
hope
movie
for, bro.
before. We've seen this
I
movie before.
have no hope.
They have Jonathan Taylor though. They got Jonathan Taylor. You know that's exciting. Other than that, yeah, right smack back, right there.
I think they have a good roster. It's just that you got Daniel Jones at the helm. Anthony Richardson is all over the place, and I want nothing but success for that guy. To be clear, but I like Josh Downs. I like Alec Pierce. I like Pittman. Again, Daniel Jones at the helm is all I got to say for that.
The New York Jets. So you could say they're building towards the future. It's just what again their question is quarterback. Actually, I think I kind of like them here. Their question is quarterback. I think the Jets. I mean, they have some cornerstone pieces. They just re-signed Sauce and Garrett Wilson. Sauce needs to get back to his first 2 years of performance in the league, but some injuries slowed him down. And Garrett Wilson has been great with no consistent quarterback play. And they got good pieces across their defense. Quincy Williams. They got pieces. So
Yeah, I agree. I like this. Phil's is another person who I'm kind of rooting for to have success.
all right, let's keep it rolling. Another team I think building towards the future, and that's going to be the Carolina Panthers. So we've seen a lot of great signs from Bryce towards the end of last year. Played
You love
extremely
Bryce on
well.
the
I
low, by
do.
the way.
I
I know you
do.
do.
I do.
I know.
Listen, I got a
Especially because you
lot.
got him in the league.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got a lot dependent on Bryce right now, but we saw a lot of great signs from him. Of course, what they were able to do picking up Ted McMillan. who a lot of people had rated as a top receiver in the draft. Let's see what happens with Leggett. Jalen Coker had some games last year who I hope he really
Yeah,
emerges as kind of that safety blanket as Thielen starts to get a little bit older. Um, but this is an exciting team. Also have a really good corner in J.C. Horn as well. So they have some interesting things happening defensively.
I like that. I think I agree with you. Bryce Young, another one who I'm rooting for, right? He kind of got overshadowed by C.J. Stroud's success coming
Absolutely.
out, right? And Bryce was the number one pick. I think that the line did not do him any justice.
Any justice.
Yeah, so I think I like Bryce. I like Bryce better than Jalen.
Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are definitely not doing that. No chance. I think this is one of the things though, like one of the stories of getting benched do open you out because I could easily kill a young player's confidence. You don't play where you get benched. I actually helped him. He came back from the bench and then started lighting it up. So super
Yeah.
excited to see another team with a young quarterback building towards the future. This is an obvious one. Tennessee with Cam Ward. I know you were super high on Cam Ward coming out, so I'll let you talk a little bit about Tennessee.
Yeah, no, I like Cam. I've been watching some clips from their camp, and he had one where he was rolling left, threw across his body, which you're taught not to do. But he threw a nice pass over the middle of the field for it would have been a touchdown. I like Cam a lot. I think Tennessee got something good going over there. I think Ridley has a great year. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're doing. So I like them in that category, building for the future. As I'm watching or I'm looking at this list, it's a lot of young quarterbacks other than Russ, right? But we talked about Jackson Dart with some potential to grow. Like I said, there's been so much success for rookies coming out that they set the expectations really high. And we talked about how realistically you want rookies, especially rookie quarterbacks, to develop and grow uh, over the course of time. But it's just difficult because all the expectations that's being set with all the success for them, like Jalen Daniels, C.J. Stroud, etc.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Another thing kind of adds to that having a win now is their division outside of Houston, which had a down year, at least in the regular season. Of course, they won a playoff game, but their division is really weak. They play with the Colts, they play with the Jaguars, who have been up and down. So you throw that into the mix with all this hype around Cam, and you're like, hey, like, can they make some noise? I mean, I don't think so, but that also adds to the fact he's not going into a division with a dominant team, kind of like what Jaden did. And I think that's what makes it all that more impressive what Jaden did.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another team that's kind of building towards the future. And you know what? We had them in this pre-show, but I'm kind of thinking Arizona. I think that might kind of wrap up the building for the future.
Yeah.
I think
The thing
Arizona
is like
falls here.
they have to figure out the quarterback. Oh, they need more consistent play out of
From their
Kyler, I
quarterback,
believe.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're right. The biggest thing is Kyler Murray. You need to be consistent. And then Marvin Harrison, part of it was Kyler missing him when he was wide open, as you've alluded to many times. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think they're mediocre at best. I don't think they're a team that's building towards the future when you got a quarterback who's been in the league as long as Kyler has been. But they have some promising pieces. Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride has emerged as one of the best tight ends in the league. James Conner is still very
Yeah.
serviceable as a running back.
Yeah, I was looking at it, right? And Trey McBride, fantasy wise, has been cooking, and it's like solely off of receptions and yards because
Yep.
I think he has 7 touchdowns in his whole career or something. It's something crazy like that.
All right. Another team who I know that you really like, or you like their quarterback, but just because of the division they play in, they land on the mediocre at best here, and that's the Vegas Raiders. And your guy Tom
Yeah.
Brady now part of that organization. Pete
Yeah.
Carroll, who we both like as a coach. But why do you think Las Vegas falls kind of in this tier of mediocre at best?
The biggest, the most difficult thing they got going for them is that division. That's a tough division, bro. The Denver, obviously, they made a run last year. You got Kansas City. We all know about Kansas City, and then the Chargers, who I like. Mediocre at best, and that's also to me building towards the future. I think they got they got some pieces in place. They got Bowers, right? Bowers had
Genty.
an electrifying year. Now you got Michael Myers in the backfield. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm excited to watch them play actually. So
Yeah, they got some young skill position players, which is going to be
yeah, they
interesting to
got
watch.
Crosby. Crosby's a monster, and you got Pete Carroll over there, who I love as a coach. So I'm excited to watch them play. And then you got the GOAT. Like, come on, just let the GOAT come back. If you think about this, if Tom Brady came out of retirement and played quarterback, now they're at Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, sure.
Don't do that. You talking about naming people who defeated Mahomes?
I know, it's a year out of football at that age. I don't know.
The GOAT. Listen,
anyway,
the GOAT.
Let's keep it going before people just instantly turn it off after that take right there. The only question I have about Las Vegas is, like we just talked about the youth of some of those skill position players, is their quarterback is older. And so like what does that mean? Are they going to try to find one and develop one to kind of sit behind Geno, kind of learn from him? So that's what's interesting to me. I don't know.
They should have took Shador.
And then I 100% agree. And then what is their path? Like what's their path to getting to the second best team in their division? What's their path to overtaking the Broncos, who played very well, who have one of the best rosters in football, in my opinion. And then, everybody's favorite, the Chargers. We won't even get into that. So let's move on. Next team, get into that. Geno's and Pete Carroll's former team, I think they also slot right next to there in the Seattle Seahawks. And that's mainly because I think they downgraded that quarterback. I truthfully believe that. Geno Smith at least had the benefit. Number one, he played well, and he played well over multiple seasons. It wasn't just like it was bad with the Jets and then just had one great season. Sam Darnold had one great season in Minnesota with the best receiver in the league, one of the best offensive minds in the league, and then now he's going to Seattle with a defensive-minded head coach. JSN is great, but he's definitely not Justin Jefferson. I'm not really a fan of letting Geno walk to bring in another ex-Jet quarterback who has had less success.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think that, one, they fucked up paying him the bag. And along with you, a downgrade at quarterback, I think we're going to see reality set in about Sam Darnold. That is a quarterback I'm not rooting for success, by the way.
No, we're rooting for success. You're not buying stock on their success. How about that?
Yeah, I like that. I don't want to see nobody's downfall, even in my own division.
In a division that we feel San Francisco's probably going to get better because they got healthy again. So they finished, I believe, second last year in that division behind the Rams. And so I think San Francisco and the Rams are clearly better than them now. Moving on to everybody's favorite team in America, the team that is always Super Bowl or bust, regardless of how bad they are, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand the delusion within the building. Actually, that's not true. I shouldn't say that. I'm a Yankees fan, right? Every year it's championship or bust with the Yankees, right? That's the mission statement. But the Cowboys have not been to an NFC championship game, I think, since I've been alive. So
that's crazy.
They are in a tough division. Of course, the Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, Washington, who was just in the NFC championship game. I mean, say the same things we just said about the Giants, about them, except they have a better quarterback situation with Dak coming back. Interesting wide receiver tandem. But the Micah Parsons situation is baffling. Why is he not paid yet? I don't get it. Why is he not paid yet?
I've seen a report. I don't know. That's the problem with seeing shit online now, is you just don't know what to believe. Even if it's a video, you don't know if you could believe it with all the AI shit. But I heard that, or I read that he's gonna be the highest paid.
How do you not? Time. And the thing is, how do you not pay him? Number one, he's arguably the most impactful defensive player in the league.
Yeah,
him,
you
TJ
gotta pay
Watt.
him.
So, but the only thing is by waiting, you have to pay him more because somebody else is then going to set a record, which he then deserves to break the record. But even with Micah on the team, like you take Micah off their defense, they probably have the worst defense in the NFL. You put him on that defense, they're middle of the pack.
Instantly, yeah.
But
He makes that much of a difference.
I s-
I like Dallas. I like where we placed him though. I also watched some clips from their camp, and
mhm.
Milton looks better than Dak
Milton
in
looked
camp.
great when he had the chance. I think New England did the right thing by moving off of him, just so if Drake has a bad game, there's no questions, right? There's no like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
saw what Milton can do.
I think that's the reason why they did. I love Milton, bro. That's a quarterback I'm rooting for as well. Like I really want to see
Absolutely,
him succeed. Um, and he
that would
looked
be a
great, like you
story.
said. Yeah, that would be a story. Did you see too? Jerry Jones was talking about paying Dak, and like, look, we paid Dak, and he got hurt or some shit like that. And Dak was like, nobody was more upset than myself for not being out there
Yeah,
competing.
Dak's quote was a little weird because he was like, "I would give up all the money I could to win," and it's like, well, technically, you could have
Yeah,
not taken the money.
yeah, yeah. You could have did a Tom Brady.
Yeah, in the NFL, they also let you like restructure your contract at any time too. So like you could restructure your contract. That's an option too. I get what he meant by that though. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, I just think where they're at, the division they play in, the NFC East got one of the toughest schedules as a division overall. Um, they probably end up, around 500.
yeah. And the other thing too was like, uh, Jerry Jones is just too involved, right? Like they could have had Belichick, but he didn't want to relinquish some of his power. So you stuck with what you got.
Absolutely. And you didn't have to worry about Belichick drafting a receiver because CD is already there.
Yeah,
That's
'cause he
Belichick's money
cannot
for
he
save his
cannot
life.
draft a receiver for nothing, guy.
Let's
Fucking
keep it
N'Keal Harry
rolling.
is
Let's
crazy.
keep it rolling with another team, and I think Jacksonville, mediocre at best. And this is just strictly off of the quarterback play. You just don't know what you're gonna get out of Trevor Lawrence, right? He's shown us flashes in both directions. We're like, man, this guy is awesome. You're like, man, this guy sucks. Just bad, like super bad decision
Yeah,
making at
that is
times.
funny as fuck. That's a great call out. Like you just don't, and it's either one way, like completely one way, or the opposite, right? It's not like
Absolutely.
medium. It's like he's really good or he's just really
It's
bad.
really exactly. It's like you're gonna win us the game or you're gonna lose us the game. And they've surrounded him. Credit to Jackson, they surrounded him with weapons. They just drafted Travis. Bronton Thomas Jr. was phenomenal last year. Evan Ingram experienced a resurgence in Jacksonville in his career. But man, that defense also not very great. They just have the benefit of playing in the AFC South. So, they have I think they're gonna be mediocre.
Chance, yeah.
And then so this might be a controversial one for folks.
Is this the spicy take?
No, this isn't the spicy take. I don't think yet.
All right.
This might be a controversial one for folks that you had them here. And that is the Miami Dolphins. Tell us why you don't think they're a potential wild card team. Why do you have them as mediocre at best? Where do you have them finishing in the AFC East? Maybe start there.
I have them finishing third.
They were mediocre last year.
Yeah, they're mediocre. I think mediocre makes it seem like they're just bad, but I don't think they're bad. I don't. All these teams ranked in this tier, I don't think are bad. I just don't think that they have what it takes. I also don't like. I think the biggest thing for me with Miami is just the division. Like I said, and we're gonna get into that a little bit more as we go on.
I think you're missing the biggest thing about Miami, which is can Tua stay healthy?
Oh yeah, great point.
Which maybe that just goes without saying because that's just an automatic question.
They put Waller over there, man.
That
He's
was
gonna
crazy.
distract everybody. Is what's gonna happen.
You think what is whack ass rapping?
Yeah, bro. You ever watched one of his music videos?
No.
Yo, you want a good laugh?
No.
There you go.
And you already know their coach, what's his name? What is that guy's name? Oh, he's an offie kid too. He's an offie kid.
I like their coach.
Is it McDonald, McDaniel? What's his name, bro?
I think it's McDaniels.
Hold on.
I don't know. He looks like a he looks like a drug lord from Miami in the 80s.
Mike McDaniel. Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably down with it. He probably gonna be in a Darren Waller video.
He probably would actually.
He probably pull up in one of them videos wearing a do-rag.
I like their team, right? They got one of the best duos for the receiving core. But again, like you said, the biggest thing is how many games is Tua gonna play? And to me, the division.
That's it right there. That is a 150% the question. But you know what they did do? Trading Jalen Ramsey for Minka Fitzpatrick was interesting. Which leads us to the next team, which is Pittsburgh, who's been making a lot of strange-ish moves. Aaron Rodgers. So this might be a hot take for some people, but it's not for me. People are like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, is he going to give him better quarterback play than Russell Wilson last year? Well, I don't think so. Stats show he had a decent year for the Jets, but trust me, I watched every single game. He did not contribute to winning at all. So I don't think that's an upgrade.
That's kind of crazy to say that the quarterback did not play any part of them winning.
We won more games. I'm pretty sure we won just as many as Zach Wilson.
If I could recall correctly, we had a conversation and he was like, how can you say a quarterback doesn't contribute or make a difference if they touch the ball the most in the game?
No, what I'm saying is that it's like empty calories with Aaron Rodgers is what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what? We was already losing, bro.
I agree, because
we was already losing. So I don't care. I don't care if you play well when we're down 20 points.
They got DK.
That doesn't move anything for me.
Me neither. But they got Watt. I love Watt. See, I think
I like Jonnu, though. I like Jonnu.
The best thing they have going for them is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin always finds a way to be successful. Best
thing they got going is the fact that they're probably going to finish, I don't know, 500. Oh, they can't finish 500, so maybe 9-8. I don't know. I'm not. It just doesn't move me, man. They're gonna be a well-coached team, like you said. But like trading Minka Fitzpatrick, one of the best safeties in the league, for Jalen Ramsey, who's a little bit older, that was a little bit of a head scratcher. Didn't really understand that one. So they got pieces. I don't see them in that vein. I guess people like them.
Yeah.
If they win a playoff game, it would be a big deal for them. How about that? Which it doesn't excite me. So here's one team where we disagree on. And I'm going to get rid of this missing the playoff teams, because really, if you're a potential wild card that misses the playoffs, then you ended up being mediocre. That's just what it is. You're in the middle of the pack. So I'm going to get rid of this missing the playoffs team tier.
That makes sense.
So we kind of disagree on this one a little bit, and that's New England. So I'm not sure how much of this is you being a Patriots fan, how much of it. I like Drake Maye a lot. I'm really high on Drake Maye.
Nah, you are.
So I had them, building towards the future, because that's really where they're at as an organization, bringing Mike Vrabel. But I feel like you want to put them right here as a potential wild card team, because I think we both feel like Buffalo's winning their division, which would put them as a wild card team.
I'm not giving it to them to win the division easily.
New England, you just said that you don't necessarily. You're not penciling in Buffalo in that division. Which
I'm not.
That is a scorching hot take. So go ahead.
Why is that scorching? Why is that scorching?
You think New England? Let me say. You think New England? Let me just make sure I got their. Let me just make sure I got this right. New England, who finished last in their division, went 4-13, is going to jump and overtake Buffalo, who won 13 games last year.
Okay.
That's why it's scorching hot. That's why it's scorching hot. They're going to have...
You know what else is scorching hot?
A 10-game...
Forged in Foxborough, which is a documentary that's been following the New England Patriots and what they've been doing throughout the offseason.
I guarantee you are the only person who's watching that. Who is watching that?
No.
Actually, you know what? After all this shit that happened at Foxborough, that Coldplay concert, people might be interested in Foxborough.
No, that is a good take, bro. That is fire. I love what you did right there. So here's why, right? And I talked to you about this off the camera. Is their schedule is easy. Like it is easy. It's
It is.
easier than when I was playing Call of Duty Hardcore Search and Destroy. It was easy. It's easier than that, and that was light. Again, like we talked about the off. I think we had the best draft
I loved your
in the
draft.
whole league.
Love the draft.
In the whole league, I think we had the best draft. I think that we've got one of the best coaches in the league.
I agree.
Right?
Mike Vrabel is
And
incredible.
now I'm not even talking about just Vrabel. Like seeing the coaching staff overall and from that documentary, we got some good pieces in place, bro. And you like Drake Maye, right?
Oh, I do.
And what was one of the most difficult things for us was our line. We
Absolutely.
worked on the line, right? We picked up some pieces. We signed I always forget his name from the Eagles last year. We got Gonzalez, who's a hell of a corner, probably one of the best
absolutely.
corners, top 5 corner in the league.
Agreed.
Yeah. As I'm talking about this, I might put them as Super Bowl favorites.
Okay. So here's
maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I definitely see them making the playoffs.
I'm gonna give you I think each of us gets a flyer team, and it sounds like your sleeper team is New England, and so you'll roll with that one. I like New England. I think they could be better than Miami for sure. I like their defense. They probably had the biggest improvement in the coaching department out of any team. Maybe outside of the North Carolina Tar Heels in college because they got Bill Belichick, right? So bringing in Vrabel was phenomenal. Obviously, it was a ton of dysfunction under Mayo. He wasn't really set up to succeed there. I agree with you. Their draft was phenomenal. Their biggest question is the skill position group. What is Stephon Diggs? Now, granted, he's looked great.
I love the skill position.
His recovery, I think, has been going better than maybe they even New England thought, from what I've been hearing. But that's going to be a big question mark.
He looked good in camp too.
What does that open up for some of the other guys who have struggled and being, when they were kind of forced to be the 1 or the 2? So
I like Pop. I love Stephon.
We didn't even mention TreVeyon Henderson.
TreVeyon Henderson, best pass blocking running back, right? Give Drake some extra
Stevenson
protection,
was
but also
terrible last year.
He's dynamic. Yeah, Stevenson fumbles the ball too much. Who else? The Williams, the receiver. I want to see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Even Javon Baker and Polk, like they were a lot of good talks when they came in as rookies. Obviously, they didn't get to perform, or they didn't perform to what the expectations were. But I think in a emerging situation, we'll see. Now that I'm talking about this, they might win the division.
Yeah, no, I'm all set. I'm gonna go with the guy who won the MVP last year.
He did deserve.
No, Lamar definitely should have won. But I mean, it is what it is. Josh Allen won. Okay, so let's start talking about. I believe that's gonna wrap up the mediocre at best, and we go into potential wild cards. So wait a minute. Let me ask you this: Let's take playoff team or potential wild card. Where do you want to put them here?
Playoff team. That's where I would want to put them.
All right. But no, that's your flyer pick.
All right.
You could do it. I'm not gonna have none of this has nothing to do with me. So that's your guy. That's your team. All right. Let's talk about potential wild card teams.
Right.
Let's talk about everybody's favorite team first, right here.
The Chargers.
Well, gotta refresh it again. I think putting the Patriots where I put them broke it. Yeah, the Chargers, potential wild card team. Everybody's super high in this team. Everybody loves Justin Herbert.
It's not just Justin Herbert though.
No, they had the top scoring defense last year. They draft Omarion Hampton for a running team. That's a phenomenal fit. They bolstered their line.
They had him taking like punt returns and kickoff returns, though. But that's not a good look.
So, but here's why I have them, and I also like their second round pick, Trey Harris. I think him and McConkey. I got Trey Harris in our dynasty league. I think he's going to be phenomenal in that spot. Here's why I got him potential wild card. Number one, I think the Chiefs are better than them. Two, I like Denver more than I like them. I think Denver as a complete team is a better team than they are. So there's that.
I'm not mad at that.
So just that you're finishing third in your division, you're going to land as a wild card team. That's what I can see happening. So I think they're a potential wild card
last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we could probably we might see the same exact field. Now the only thing is in football, we see there's always like this one kind of uprising team that maybe we didn't have on the radar. So for example, last year in the NFC, it was Washington, right? Out of nowhere. There they are. So we could see that. And if that's the case, out of nowhere, here come the New England Patriots. It's probably gonna be the team that had 3 wild card teams last year to lose one, and because they have to play each other. So I got them as a potential wild card team.
No, I like that. I like, with Harborough there, like they got a good chance. And you know how I feel about Herbert. So
top 5 quarterback, elite quarterback in some people's opinion.
Yeah. Don't break out the charts again, the graphs. But yeah, I like it. I like what we got going. Let's move to the next team.
Let's move to another team in their same division, the Denver Broncos. We kind of just talked to them already. Really good defense. Bo Nix looked really good. Another year with Sean Payton. We both think Courtland Sutton's a super underrated player. I think they're going to continue to build up or figure out their running game more consistently this year. I feel like that was an area of opportunity from last year. They couldn't. They're kind of running through a bunch of running backs. So let's see who takes that job.
That kid Harvey, didn't they?
Yep. Who a lot of people RJ Harvey.
Yeah.
Who a lot of people are high on. So
yeah,
I think that was really their opportunity last year. It was more consistency in the ground game, if I'm not mistaken. Another team, potential wild card team. This is a team a lot of people are kind of mixed on, but your guy plays there. Let's talk about Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. Better than Jalen Hurts, you once said.
I did say that one time. I admitted I was wrong.
You did.
I admitted I was wrong.
But I'm going to bring it up every time.
No, that's fine. Because he's still has potential to be better than Hurts eventually. Yeah, I like Green Bay. I think Golden pick was interesting just because they have a young group of receivers already. You like Reed. I think Golden's probably going to be the best receiver over there. Jordan Love, he's got to be more consistent and not turn the ball over. How many turnovers he had last year? Because of the abundance of turnovers, which, that definitely contributes to losing the game.
15.
Yeah, that's a lot.
11 picks, 4. Yeah, it's a lot. 11 picks, 4 fumbles. I agree. They're one of the more interesting teams, I think. Especially, they also play in a really tough division. That could be a division where we see 3 playoff teams come out of this coming season.
That's another great call out. Yes.
So I think we did see 3 come out last year, didn't we? Lions, Vikings. Didn't Green Bay make it last year too? So I'm pretty sure we saw 3. They got bounced by the Eagles.
Okay.
They got bounced by the Eagles.
Yeah, so 3 teams came out of there?
Yep. Vikings, Lions, Packers. The Rams. And the Rams cooked them.
Yeah, I remember the Rams won and they ended up losing in Philly in the snow. Yeah, I like where we're at with Green Bay. Potential wild card. I don't think they get in this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you think? Do you think it's a different NFC North team that makes it over them?
Oh, I think Chicago has a chance.
The Chicago Bears?
Especially with Ben Johnson. He got the offensive line running routes. It's crazy. I sent you that video, right?
Yes, you did send me that video. I got a good laugh out of seeing that happen. I agree with you. I think they're gonna take a step, especially offensively, forward. The defense is gonna be the big question, I think, with them.
Yeah.
Here's a team I think we both feel is gonna have a little bit of a bounce back, and that's the 49ers, one of the most hurt teams in the league last year. While I'm not super high on their quarterback, I think from an overall roster construction, they're still a pretty good team. And so they have a decently light schedule as well. So I think that they could find their way to, I think 10-7 gets it done and gets you into a wild card spot in the NFC.
I think Purdy's serviceable, right? Kittle's obviously one of the elite tight ends in the league. Juwan Jennings had a great year. I think Ricky Pearsall, I think he'll fit in there. Taking some of Debo's responsibilities, like we talked about. Running the ball as well. I think the biggest question isn't even their quarterback. I think it's the health of McCaffrey.
Agreed.
Right? McCaffrey, he's in the top 3
I
when
agree,
healthy, because he just does so much. So if he can remain healthy, I think San Francisco definitely is going to be in the playoffs. Obviously, their defense is strong, and they have a lot of experience. So that's an interesting team to watch, especially if McCaffrey stays healthy. But that is the biggest question.
For sure. Let's keep it rolling with potential wild card teams, and this might round us out here. And this is going to be an interesting one in Minnesota. And obviously, the question is, J.J. McCarthy, what does he look like? He showed some promise in the preseason last year, but what does he look like?
He just dropped a 60-yard bomb to Addison in camp. That was some nice throw.
Armor.
Yeah, definitely. And they were high on him. They were high on him going into last year before the injury. So I think, and didn't they say, like, if he was in this year's draft, he'd be the top rated quarterback?
Yeah, which the ultimate confidence is you let a guy who just had a season like Sam Darnold walk. Says two things. One, it says how much confidence they have in JJ. Two, it says how do they feel about Sam Darnold, which is a whole different question. So I agree. And then the other thing is their secondary. They lost, I believe, 2 cornerbacks. They lost I know Gilmore walked. He had a decent season for them. What's his name? Shaq Griffin, I think, also walked. And I believe they lost a safety as well, Bynum, I believe. So they're gonna have a lot of turnover on that in the defensive backfield. But pass rushers there, Hunter is a savage. That defensive line really cooked up, was a huge reason why they were so good last year.
My guy's over there, the DC. Why his name is
Flores?
Yeah.
Flores. Yep.
I love Flores. So I think that I like Minnesota, man. They're fun to watch as well. They got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, obviously Jay Jettas, which opens up shit for Addison. I like Minnesota. I would like to see them make the playoffs as well.
Absolutely. So let's wrap up these potential wild card teams here with Atlanta. So Atlanta had an interesting year, of course, last year, bringing in Kirk Cousins on the big money. Then they end up starting Penix. Penix has the job going into the season. Has the potential to be the most explosive offense in the league, in my opinion. I mean, think about the weapons they have. Bijan in the backfield. Drake London, who continues to tick up. Kyle Pitts has been a chin cap priority target, apparently, for Michael Penix. Even made sure to call that out in a presser that he had.
Yeah.
They have the talent. We both like Darnell Mooney a lot.
A lot. I like it. Just to clarify, I watched this video, and it was Bijan.
Bijan.
No, it's not Bijan.
It's Bijan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it. He's like, everybody's been saying my name wrong, but he really didn't care, but he corrected it. But anyways, yeah, they have young, good talent over there. So it'll be interesting to see. I want to see Michael Penix for a whole year. With the talent they have at the skill positions, they all came out the draft high, and so the expectations are high, I would say. But at the same time, it's not, because no one's talking about it. Nobody's talking about Atlanta.
And they're in an interesting division in the NFC South, where it seems like no matter what we think about Tampa, it always seems like they win they're winning the division by like a game. I believe last year it was down to the last week or to a week to week before last. So, all right, let's roll into playoff teams. You already have the shocking New England Patriots there. But let's keep adding to this.
Why is that shocking?
I already went over it.
Was their record last year?
No, just it's hard to have a turnaround. I mean, Washington just did it, so it's not impossible.
Exactly.
And I think we would agree that we feel like Mike Vrabel's a better coach than Dan Campbell. So And that's no shot at Dan Campbell. Mike Vrabel's just a great coach. Got Ryan Tannehill to an AFC Championship game. All right, let's talk about playoff teams now. So we just mentioned Tampa. I think Tampa slots in there. I think they win the NFC South. Baker's been incredible. Mike Evans. I like them drafting Ibuka. Chris Godwin. He just needs to stay healthy. Running back and
Their
Bucky
lineman
Irving.
too. Their lineman when's he
Yeah,
slated to come
worst.
back?
Yeah, that's also a big thing. I forgot how much time he's gonna miss.
But that's a big piece. And linemen don't get the credit they deserve a lot of times when it comes to accolades being talked about. And we talked about this during our debate, and it's always brought up. With an offensive line, you could just do so much, right? Like you're not limited.
Bowles says he expects him to be back sooner rather than later, early part of the season, maybe by like week 4-ish.
All right.
But that offense is capable with Baker running the show and the weapons that they have. And defense is usually around middle of the pack. So I think Tampa wins that division, slots into the playoffs. Another team I think winning the division, let's go with the AFC South, the Houston Texans. Really funky.
I think Atlanta could win that division though.
Yeah, but I would take Tampa. If I had to pick right now, I'd pick Tampa. Houston had a really funky season last year. With all the injuries they suffered offensively. That's really the biggest question. Can their skill position guys stay healthy? Yeah, Mixon. I mean, the big thing is Nico Collins.
What was Tank Dell's injury?
Man, broke his knee, tore his ACL, MCL, all the CLs.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was like.
But we've seen some Dalton Schultz obviously has played up and played well, and then Xavier Hutchinson's also showed some potential as well. So
yeah, they drafted
the pair of
receivers, didn't they?
Yeah, out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
So they got depth at the receiving position, young but potential. But I think they win that division. It's kind of a weak division with the Colts.
Yeah, I love
the Jags and
DeMeco Ryans too,
and the Titans. All right. Let's move on to another playoff team. This one might be controversial for some folks. Oh, let's do this one first. Some people don't even like this. They don't even like the Bengals. They're like, you got Bengals penciled in as a playoff team, but not the Chargers, yada, yada, yada. Cincinnati just needs to figure out how to start the season the right way, and then they'll be all right. Because they pick it up towards the end of the season. Start the season the right way, and you'll be all right.
In their defense, yo. You can't, if you're dropping 30 points a game and
they
you're
can't
losing,
be worse than last year.
That's tough. That is tough.
Their defense was ass last year.
Yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, I like the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. Yeah, I want to see them.
Their secondary just needs to hold up, and then also what's going to happen with Hendrickson. So that's going to be, but obviously best tandem in the NFL when it comes to receiver, top flight quarterback, and Joe Burrow. That line, can they hold them up? And like you said, the back end of their defense, but they definitely have the potential. And if they usually end seasons as well. It's just the start of that season, figure it out.
And the division is tough. That's a tough division.
I believe
that's
in
always
Joe
been a tough division.
Yeah, it is. And they play bad against the division too, man. I'm almost willing to move one of these two teams up and drop them down.
Who would you put up?
One of these two. Chargers or the Broncos. I like the Broncos more though, so I'll take the Broncos. I like the Broncos' overall team composition better. And that's it. I promise it's not a slight at Herbert. People are gonna be like, this guy's a Herbert hater. Nope.
No, you are a Herbert hater.
I'm not a Herbert hater. I got no skin in the game. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. My team is ass.
You do not like Herbert. When we talked about the quarterback,
I think Herbert is overrated. I'm not gonna get into it. Okay. Let's move on. But I agree with you. I think, like you said, there's a lot of questions there. But I like them more than all these other teams right here. Maybe not more than this Chargers. Well, it's kind of convincing me. Okay, here's the team I wanted to get to though, because a lot of people are super high on this team, and I think this team is ripe for regression. And that's the Detroit Lions. I still think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Let me tell you why before you react. Remember, there was a team very similar to Detroit that actually made the Super Bowl. Detroit didn't make the Super Bowl. Made the Super Bowl, lost both their coordinators, and then went through a funk like we've never seen. And that was the Eagles. Went to the Super Bowl, lost their OC and their defensive coordinator same season, and they still went. They made the playoffs. Most still went 11-5, or sorry, was it or 11-6? But they started off that season really hot, remember? And then they just terrible down the stretch. We both think very highly of Ben Johnson, and we both think really highly of Aaron Glenn, who really was just dealt a bad hand with all the injuries they had to the defense last year.
Yeah.
That's why I think Detroit is ripe for regression. You lose a lot of brain power and talent from the coaching staff. I think that's going to knock you back some. Not saying that it's not going to be a good team. I don't think they're in the contender category.
I like where you're going with that. I think highly of Dan Campbell.
Oh, for sure.
And the way he rides for that team. They obviously have talent with St. Brown, Laporta, and Jameson Williams. Yeah, I could see where you're going with that. I like them as contenders though, because they also were a team that was one game away. But you do have a point with the coordinators, right? Like we think that coaching definitely matters when it comes to the NFL. So I don't strongly disagree with that. You kind of got me on the fence, but I do like them as contenders still.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave them right where they are. That's kind of where you got the Patriots up there. I mean, the Patriots would really, if they would really be right. They would really don't belong there. But you had yours. You had yours. You had yours. So I got mine. I don't think the Lions. I think that's my spiciest take on this entire thing is that the Lions are not a Super Bowl contender. So now let's talk about the contenders. And some people might not feel this way. I think about the NFC teams that we have outside of Philly that we have left here. So I'm not sure where you want to start. Let's start with Washington because Jaden's your guy.
You got the Bills as Super Bowl contenders?
I think they're the second best team in the AFC. I think they're better than Baltimore. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. That's a spicy take.
No, it's not. What's spicy about it? What has Baltimore shown you that you're like,
what did the Bills do this offseason?
They just beat. What did Baltimore do? You think Jair Alexander was a massive pickup for them?
I think it was a great pickup for them.
Why did Green Bay let him go?
He wasn't happy.
Cut it out.
And Lamar wanted him.
So Green Bay's like, you could just walk. You could.
So who got the better quarterback out of Baltimore and the Bills?
Who? Josh. I'll take Josh.
You just said Lamar deserved the MVP. I
agree.
You think Josh is a better quarterback?
Right now, we're talking about who do I believe in more to get me to a Super Bowl? I'm gonna take Josh over Lamar. We both know the playoff.
Will you cut it out?
Come on, playoff performance.
Who got the better running back? Who got the better running back?
Derrick Henry's a better running back for sure.
All right, who got the better receiver?
Zay Flowers over who? Shakir? No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Then this guy Josh has no weapons, bro.
Clearly, he didn't need him.
You could maybe say Kincaid.
Clearly, he didn't need him.
And who got the better tight end? I'll take it the Baltimore's tight end.
Likely,
and
you take a Mark Andrews who lost the game.
Yeah.
You taking Likely, the guy who stepped out of bounds and lost the game to the Chiefs. Oh
goodness.
The season started with a tight end mistake and ended with a tight end mistake. Come on, man.
That's crazy. That's a good take right there. I like that one. All right. I strongly disagree with that one.
No, but
being
yes, they are. It's going to be one of those. It's one of those two teams against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Let's be like all these other sports players and take a bet on this, right? Let's do that because I guarantee you the Bills will not be a Super Bowl contender this year.
So now let's talk about they make the AFC Championship game, Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, that's fine.
So they're the team playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's it.
That's not happening.
So you think it's the Ravens playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if either are true, but I would take Buffalo.
All right, let's do a wager. What are we betting?
What do you want? Bottle?
Yeah, we can do a bottle.
All
right.
I'm putting them both there, though. Just like, I'm not arguing that the Ravens are not a Super Bowl contender. I'm arguing that the Bills
I think the Ravens are a favorite.
They shouldn't be. They should not be.
The Super Bowl.
They should not be. No chance. We get that for a second.
All right.
Actually, no, right there. We're just putting there. Tell me why. Tell me why they should be the favorites in the AFC.
Because they got better. Yo, why are you discrediting them? Because they didn't make it yet?
No, I want to know. So Jair Alexander, I like their draft pick, their first round draft pick for sure. Also, sure up the defense. They're back in
Yep,
the secondary.
yep.
But
I already like their defense.
why should I believe in Baltimore?
You got the MVP of the league.
Buffalo has that.
No, that has a big asterisk. That has just as big of an asterisk as the bubble championship for the Lakers. I'm
No,
being serious.
but go ahead and continue to tell me why I should believe in Baltimore. What have they done this year? What do they have this year that they haven't had in years past?
They should have won last year.
But they didn't.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Going into the playoffs, or going into last year's season. Did you have them as one of the top teams,
Baltimore?
like a favorite to get to the at least the
I have them as a
championship?
contender for sure.
Okay,
I think they're a contender. Baltimore or Buffalo, we could see them playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. For sure. We've seen it already. But
okay,
to say that Baltimore should be the favorite to come out the AFC is ridiculous.
okay.
They've shown me no reason where I'm like, man, they can go into Arrowhead or even host the game at home against Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, and they're gonna win. They've shown me they could add whoever, and I'm like, I still need to see it. I'm sorry. I still need
Okay.
to see it, need to see it to believe
Okay.
it.
Seeing is believing with this guy.
When it comes to beating the Chiefs, for sure. Yes. Same thing with Buffalo. I wouldn't say Buffalo should be the favorite in the AFC either.
I wouldn't say they're contenders.
That's crazy.
They're not even going to win a division. How are they going to be contenders?
Here we go. Moving to the NFC. Let's start with the ones that maybe people don't agree with. Everybody knows how I feel about the Los Angeles Rams. Honestly, throughout the entire playoffs, gave the Eagles their toughest shot in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Their defense, I think, is only going to get better versus an absolute savage.
He's a beast. Shout out to you. Shout out to you because you called that at the beginning of the season last year.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You really like the addition of Devontae Adams. You know, if Puka can stay healthy, they can run the ball very well. McVay is a genius. And this is really, in my opinion, this is probably their last shot with Stafford anyways. I feel like they might be a team that would be aggressive at the deadline if there's a move that they need to make. They'd probably be a team buying. So I think they just need to get into the tournament. I don't really care how they look throughout the year, as long as they don't look bad because of injuries, like they lost a big player. They just need to get into the tournament, and I like their shot. Veteran QB, proven head coach, and talent all over the field.
I agree. What was Stafford's injury? I know he got hurt. Or he's hurt.
He's always hurt, though.
How old is Stafford?
70?
It seems like he's been playing forever.
Back soreness. Don't know what he was doing, but
that's definitely with old age.
37.
I wake up every day. Huh?
37. He'll be 38 once the season is over.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like them as contenders.
Now we'll get to Jaden's your guy, but tell us why you think Washington either will be back in the NFC Championship or even take the next leap and represent the NFC.
They're gonna represent the NFC. That guy is too fucking good, bro. He is too good. He is that good. When you brought up the stats of that stretch of going every possession and scoring,
it's like 14 straight or something crazy.
It's insane. You don't know what to do with them because they fourth down, they're going for it. So that's just giving them more opportunities. The only thing they gotta for sure do, I think, as a priority, is sign Scary Terry.
Yeah,
because he's
holding out.
Pissed right now. Yeah, he's holding out. According to the last thing I read, they're not even close to where they need to be as far as the negotiations. So they need him. Obviously, he's one of the premier wide receivers in the league.
Agreed.
And that's Jaden's guy. So they got to figure that out. But I'm not counting out Jaden Daniels. I'm not doing it. We've seen how impressive he was, not only throughout the year, but like in the playoffs, right? Like going into Detroit and winning that.
Oh, it's massive.
Detroit was a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, they were.
Year. So, to go in Detroit and win that game was phenomenal.
Absolutely light them up too.
When they beat the Eagles in the regular season. Now, granted, Hurts
He
I
got
don't
hurt.
think Hurts played the
He got hurt
yeah,
early in that game.
and then there was a lot of fumbles in the playoff game,
Yeah.
which wasn't because of this guy. So, I think they got a shot to being in the Super Bowl for sure, and
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
I'm not sure if I'd take him over Philly or even the Rams. But what I will say is they've done a lot of things to add, the big addition getting Laramie Tunsil to shore up the
Yeah.
offensive line a little bit. They got Biotish last year from the Cowboys, and that made a huge difference on the line. So, yeah, I think they're a really promising team, and I agree. So that leaves us with the Super Bowl favorite tier. Philly as defending champions deserves to be back in that tier. And then until someone shows me otherwise why I shouldn't believe in Kansas City, I'm going to continue to put Kansas City there. Philly absolutely boat raced them, no doubt about it. But I think they shored up a position of need, which is the tackles on the offensive line. They were able to draft there. And they also brought in the backup, the highly coveted backup to Trent Williams. They were one of the most injured, if not the most injured, skill position cores in the league outside of maybe San Francisco. Rashee Rice got hurt early. Pacheco broke his leg. They had to bring in Juju and Kareem Hunt. So that tells you
Kareem Hunt was balling too.
and then Hollywood Brown missed a lot of time too. So that kind of tells you where their skill position players were last year. So I need to see somebody beat them. They've been just so dominant. Every year, Mahomes been a starter. They've been in the AFC Championship game. So expect to see him back. And then, like I said, Philly deserves to be there. Boat race the Chiefs. Great roster overall. I like their quarterback. Hot take. I think their quarterback's pretty good. But
He's mid. He's definitely mid, but yeah, that's fine. I
should be the
don't
favorite.
even want to get into that debate again.
What's interesting though,
I don't like the Eagles as a favorite though.
no, so what's interesting is that the overall Super Bowl favorite, I'm looking at the betting odds on FanDuel right now, is Baltimore favorite to win, then Buffalo second. So those are the two favorites, and then Philly at 3, Kansas City at 4. I just don't understand why the media in Vegas always does this. They're like,
What's
hey,
that?
they're the media favorites, Baltimore and Buffalo. Yet they've shown you that when it matters most, and maybe that's because they want people's money, but when it matters when it matters most, they go ghost. I don't get it. So why? I'm cool.
Josh Allen played a good game,
Josh Allen had the chance to win the game, and he
and
did
wasn't it a controversy with the whole first down?
He didn't get it. Always
Yeah.
controversy.
I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is this: he had the chance to go win the game, couldn't get 10 yards.
Wasn't we arguing about Washington because he was like, they don't deserve to be there,
Where?
and I was like, huh?
Where?
When we was talking about a pre-show, and because he was like, yeah, no, I don't got them there, and I'm like, they were one game away.
Washington. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. What did I say? Who was there? Oh, I said the Jaguars were there. Because you're like, they just made the NFC Championship game. I was like, yeah, the Jaguars did too. But
yeah, but they don't have that guy.
Obviously, that was satire because I agree. Blake Bortles is not equal Jaden Daniels, so not even close.
Yeah.
But here's a ranking
I
though.
like the list.
I
like the list.
I think there's one thing that's very glaring on here.
What? The Bills?
That New England Patriot guy. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good list, But let us know where is your team at? Do you agree with the ranking? Chargers fan, I fully expect them to come for me. I think everybody in every fan base in the NFL, not within Boston, is probably going to come for you for your Patriots take. But that's okay. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get a text message to defend myself on that one, which is fine.
Patriots, and you know what?
So you didn't. So just to be clear, you had them with the Giants and Jets, right?
I think building towards the future is the right place, right? Young quarterback, Vrabel comes in.
Let's put another wager up
Absolutely
there that the
terrible.
Patriots make the playoffs.
The Patriots make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Well, after reviewing their schedule, I'm not going to do that.
All right.
But to
Cool.
have them jump the other teams that we have, I mean, granted, we only have 2 AFC teams as potential wild card. Now that I'm looking at that list,
Wow. I like the Steelers because of Tomlin.
how about this? I'll give you this. I like New England's chance to make the playoffs more than Pittsburgh.
Oh, me too. That's why I had them ranked as where they are.
I like it as a potential wild card more than I like Pittsburgh. I just really hate them on the same tier as like Detroit and Houston.
Well, get them out of there.
I'm talking about New England. This guy take Pittsburgh out. Fuck, man, I'm putting them back.
Yeah, they don't belong there.
There's just
I like where we had the rankings.
I agree. It's not. It's there. We go. All right, let's wrap it right there. This is a great list. This is we're gonna come back and be like, man, these guys got every pick right.
I wish, bro. I took a crazy loss with our parlays last year.
Yeah, listen, lock in New England as a playoff. The odds got to be great. Let's see.
No, they weren't because I tried. Like,
Listen,
10 games. 10 games was like I was winning like $5 or something like that.
listen, New England plus 8,500 to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Look
I
at
might
this.
put $5 on that.
Look at this. Oh yeah, dang. Patriots to make the playoffs are only plus 160.
That's what I'm telling you.
That they're the only teams with a positive line that are above them are Arizona, who I think the Patriots can be better than, Atlanta, okay, and Pittsburgh. That's it. The Bears have longer odds to make this to playoffs.
I think that's because of the division, like we talked about.
Yeah, and the schedule.
And schedules, yeah.
Listen, you could take a bet on the Saints to make the playoffs plus 920.
Yeah, no, not doing. That's throwing away money.
That's throwing away money. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like we said, let us know, where did your team fall? How do you feel about it? Are we too pessimistic about your team? Are we too optimistic about your team? Who's the biggest surprise on this list? And why is it New England? And as always, think critically, speak infamously. Love.
Love.